take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Welcome to Life in Red.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Episode 13 of the podcast with my good friend Dayna.
Hello.
Dayna B. My good friend from here at the radio station. And Dayna, I wanted to start off with a tweet.
Oh, no.
A tweet.
Ryan, is this going to make me upset?
Yes. Is Santa oppressive?
Oppressive?
Yeah.
To who?
Women.
To women?
Because Santa is a man. A white man.
No. What? Every day you have a new tweet that is just so enraging. I don't know where you find these people. I don't know if you go out seeking these people who get weirdly outraged by the strangest things.
I kind of do. Like, I literally just follow people on Twitter who are like both sensational, like lefties, and then sensational, like right wing.
But doesn't it make you so mad?
No, because I do it every day and you see how I laugh. Because it's so fun.
I guess. I see your point.
And for those who don't know, Dayna and I sit together for about 15-20 minutes before her show.
Every morning.
And we just discuss things about what's bugging us. Or I wouldn't even say gossiping. Like, we'll just see something on the internet and then we'll just chat about it.
Yeah. And
then you actually have to go to work. And then I guess so do I.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's usually tweets that I find. And there was that girl that we were talking about, Tatiana McGregor, who we cannot decide.
No, she's fake.
If she's fake or real.
She's a troll account. She's a parody account. Has to be.
The more because I actually went and followed her because it was like so hilarious. Mm-hmm. The more I read her tweets, they seem to be a little more fictitious.
Yeah. And she's writing a book.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know if that's
book?
real.
And what's the title of the book again? I can't remember.
How to be woke or something. I have
Yeah,
it,
it's got to be, but it's got to be like a comedy book, like a parody.
Do you think so?
It has to be because some of her tweets are outrageous.
The one I wanted to start with is it was some tweet she quote tweeted about a person basically saying that we need to abolish whiteness in 2019 and stuff like that. And her quote tweeted it, and I guess the person who tweeted it was colored. So she's like, wow, white people making colored people abolish whiteness. Slavery has never ended.
Oh my God. But they're so ridiculous to the point that they're actually comical,
That's what I mean, yeah. So like, but is she real?
No, I refuse to believe somebody like that is real because I will move to Mars.
Here's the tweet.
Water there.
Santa is a symbol of white patriarchy. He enters the home, womb, in quotes, via the chimney, quotes, vaginal canal, to deposit his gifts, sperm, quotes. Santa is a rapist. What? Christmas is violence.
What? No, that's not real. Like, nobody thinks that way.
That was her tweet.
Nobody thinks that way and seriously believes what they're saying.
She also has a fun little tweet here. So I'm pretty sure this is not real, but it's a graph, a pie graph that you can see right here. So you see the pie graph.
Yeah. For
those who can't see it. It's percentage of babies born in the UK projected in 2019. And it says 87% are trans. So I don't know.
Okay.
So 87%, keep that number.
Yeah.
19 are other kin. So we're already over 100%.
Okay.
10% are female, 7% are male, and 32% are non-binary. Now,
I don't even understand.
We got into radio because I didn't do well in math.
Yeah.
But I can clearly add up. That doesn't make 100%.
No, that makes more than that.
I think it's 155%.
So I don't understand the point of that.
So I think it's not real.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is, okay, so we're deciding if this person's real or not. And you go through the comments, which I believe we did yesterday, and there are people who agree. Like, that's the crazy part. So people are like, this is so, like, far-fetched. No one would believe this. No one would actually think this. And then you just, like, read through the comments.
That's why you can't read through the comments.
And then it's, like, people.
In 2019, my New Year's resolution is to not read the comments anymore on anything. Because they make you so angry. Like, okay, back to the Santa thing, right? Remember I came and we talked about how I saw an article that said Santa is encouraging obesity in children. Remember how I brought that up?
Yeah.
Which is absolutely crazy.
Well, the guy drinks like 1% milk, which is apparently bad for you.
What?
No,
I
because
thought 1% milk was
no,
good.
no. You need fat in milk. That's healthy because when you replace it with water, and it's like sugar, apparently that they put in milk.
I've been drinking 1% milk my whole life.
No. You need full fat
2%?
milk. Apparently, I don't know.
Milk?
I'm not clear on the science.
Okay.
It's switched
Well, I did not know that.
to be keto, to get in ketosis.
Oh, whatever.
Anyways, continue. He also eats cookies and
all
gives
night.
the carrots to the reindeer,
Yeah.
which is awful.
But how can he encourage obesity in children? I mean, really think about that.
Didn't you want to grow up and be Santa?
Absolutely not.
Like
I don't want to live in the North Pole.
he is the idol of which I am going to form my body.
No.
Like I'm going to work 1 day a year, and that is it.
It's just things like that, man. Things like that, internet access should be restricted. It should be.
But Dayna, censorship,
Yeah.
free speech, you can't.
But you can't until you say something that somebody doesn't agree with. Free speech until then, right?
And arguably only when it's, a very conservative right-wing point of view. Like you could be very controversial. You could say we need to kill all white people and you're probably not getting banned from Twitter.
Oh, geez, that's horrible, though.
Yeah, but like that seems to be okay in ways. And I've had this argument with people so many times.
Where people defend that statement?
Yeah, that like you can't be racist or
Right.
anything to white people even when you like say something like that. That's not like it's okay because white people are the they're at the top. They
That
have
I know
the
that's a
power.
touchy
White
subject.
privilege.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject, but I live by anybody of any race can be a dick, essentially.
Oh yeah, that's
Anybody of any skin color can be an asshole, and that's the end of that.
It's true.
Towards anybody.
So, like, because it's the holidays as we record this, I've been doing, like, very minimal work. And I was watching TED Talks today. And I was watching one, and I should have his name, but he was a black man who went viral for a video about, he didn't get into much about it, but I think it was, like, white privilege or something. I'll see if I can find it. But anyways, whatever he did, he started to realize I'm going to paraphrase. I'm going to post the video on the Twitter page. But anyways, he went, he was talking about the echo chambers we're in and like how the algorithms of the internet only feed us the information that we want and we seek. And anyways, so he realized that, and
this video.
Yeah, and he went and he
searched white supremacist stuff.
yeah,
only.
he made like a fake account and he went like quote unquote undercover.
Yes.
And it was actually like a really good insight to, but like from another point of view. So when
I've watched that video. I have.
Yeah, and it's good because he's talking about like, he's like, once we start getting away from what our race is like, and we start considering ourselves as the human race, and this is coming from a minority perspective.
Yeah, you should definitely link that video.
Yeah,
on your Twitter.
I didn't want to do too many TED Talks today because I was,
lazy.
yeah, I didn't want people
Unmotivated.
knowing I wasn't doing any work, but I was just trying to learn.
Yeah, but TED Talks, I feel like you could be doing worse. Like, I spent the better part of today watching RuPaul's Drag Race compilation videos. Meanwhile, you watch TED Talks and see this is where we differ.
Yeah, it was
Our
great.
spare
So his
time.
name is Theo E.J. Wilson, and it was only published last year. So it was good. So
Yeah,
I'm definitely
no,
going to tweet that out.
I don't remember how it ends, the video, but I remember watching it and being like, that was a really good video.
Well, he just kind of, I don't want to like spoil it, but like he just talks about different perspectives and how just because we're in our own little echo chamber that we need to seek out other people who we don't agree with or like don't match our own viewpoints. And we talk about this a lot too. And then have the conversation with them.
Yeah, actually, and not a yelling match, like an actual.
Yeah,
like,
and it's not behind a computer. It's not, through text message or through a phone. It's like you are sitting down and having a face-to-face human interaction with somebody who doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, but people don't do that anymore.
No. He even went to say, he's like, he had some compassion for how people who are white supremacists got to that point. Because it's all, and then I was watching so many other videos about evolutionary behavior and and you know how we formulate our ideas from birth to adulthood.
Yeah.
But like there's certain ways that they develop these tendencies in their thinking and their belief system to where they are now, and it's usually not good.
Yeah.
It's usually not a healthy relationship that they've got to this point.
Yeah, well, something, you know, it's usually like an experience, a negative, traumatic, or something experience that changes.
Or you're like, you know, what your parents
are
are.
A huge influence.
You know, education does a huge injustice. Like I was just talking, I can't remember because I talked to you about so much now, but like I didn't learn about residential schools in like when I was growing up. I didn't learn about that till now.
No, neither did I. I think this year is the first I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
And the first I ever was like, what happened? And I had to actually look it up myself.
Yeah.
And they never taught any of that.
And I think that happens in the States too. Yeah. Like they don't learn that, or it's like glossed over or very romanticized about like the civil rights movement and, you know, slavery and the abolishment of the indigenous people and just in America, right? Like that's all glossed over with, you know, the Declaration and the founding of their government. And
well, that's shame too, right?
And it's like, you know, yeah, Martin Luther King or Rosa Parks did these like great things for black rights and the movement, but you forget about all the disgusting, despicable things that happened, the violence, the lynchings, the you know, segregate, like all like the slavery. It's like that's all glossed over. It's like, yeah, you know about it, but you don't know how bad it actually was.
What was good? Like here's what happened.
Yeah, it's just like, guys, look how great we are.
That.
Yeah, it's just
who cares
like,
about the past?
That happened in where we are now, but I'm such a believer that like you need to fundamentally know about all like the horrible stuff going on.
Well, if you make it seem like a secret or like something nobody talks about, you make it seem worse. And it was horrible, obviously, but it makes it seem like. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not that it's worse, but that obviously you're still carrying the shame from that, and you need to let go of that. And by sharing exactly what happened and the history of things, and so that we know we've learned from our mistakes and we move forward. Yeah,
you can't. You know, it's like talking about the dirty secrets of like your mental health or you know, shameful things maybe you've done in the past, or like. You can't have open and honest dialogue and conversation about it without, you know, first admitting the wrongdoing and then like actually talking about it and not being naive to the fact that, like horrible things happened.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation another day with a friend, and we were talking about like the violence and rape crisis in like India, where like, you know, like women like can get like gang raped on a bus, or children and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's actually pretty rampant in like places like India.
In public.
Yeah.
In the daylight.
Yeah. Like there was a 3-month-old baby.
What?
Yeah. And I know like that's, but people like don't want to talk about that, and I know that's triggering to some people who have experienced abuse and violence. But like, right, you didn't even know about that.
No.
The media kind of glosses over that because that is a very difficult subject that people do not want to know about. They just want to go, like, just go to work. Got my own stuff.
I want to know about it.
Research some of it. It's
just because, like,
horrific.
How is this happening in the, 21st century?
Yeah,
I just don't understand how that is happening in a developed country. India, you said?
Yeah.
That's a developed
and I haven't looked into I remember reading or hearing about like part of it is like there's so many like the male to female ratio is so
like there's many more men than there are women.
Yeah. So not everyone can find a what like
okay.
So apparently some men are like putting themselves out there like that way or taking it out like like. I mean, I don't know. I'm not there. I haven't even done that much research on it, but I was just kind of getting educated on the subject just a little bit. But I remember hearing about the story, and that I really should look it up. But I feel like a girl was like raped on a bus, and then she got charged.
For what?
Because it's shameful for her to have sex. That might not have been India. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's a story though. Like in one, like in.
I wouldn't even know what to search. Like I'm going to Google right now, and I'm like, I don't even know what to search.
It's And it's just one of those things, right? Like it's not a sensational story. It's not a sexy story. It's like hard hitting, like child abuse. Same with the reason like people don't really talk about sex trafficking, and that's like a pretty big subject right now, like especially in Europe, that like women especially have to like look out for. You know, there's all sorts of like, but we really want to focus on like natural disasters or terrorists or that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Mass violence, because that's gets people talking, and that gets people in the comment section. And
Well, it's divisive.
Yeah.
And it's always something that is very divisive, where, you know, you'll have two different people who have two very different points of views. And then those people clash in the comments, and then that drives views and clicks, and it's all about whatever's going to drive clicks.
Yeah,
Clicks,
and
clicks,
get
clicks, and get
the
your
money.
advertising. Yeah.
Which is, you know, you think like a thing like CBC, which is government funded, or BBC, or other state-run media organizations would talk about that a little bit more, or go into it more in depth.
Yeah, because they're not relying on things like that. You would think that.
Yeah, but instead we have non-journalists who are just like bloggers or people on Twitter who are doing all the research and figuring it out, right? It's really bizarre how, I mean, mainstream media is still very important in certain aspects, but like anyone can be a journalist on Twitter.
Pretty much.
I remember I used to do that actually, and I kind of realized that it's bad. Like, I remember there was the Parliament shootings, and I was like retweeting things and like tweeting about it. Even though I wasn't even there, I'm not a journalist, and like I realized I started like reporting like
false information.
or like
just from what you heard from somebody and thought, oh, I should tweet this out.
Or like, you know, a person would tweet out like reports of gunmen on the roof.
Yeah, there was a lot. I remember that day. There was a lot of miscommunication with people. And I remember seeing tweets, the gunmen's at Rito Center, you know, there's multiple gunmen. They're locking down the malls and nobody's allowed out. And there's more people injured, but none of it was true.
Yeah.
So, and that caused like a mass hysteria, right? Like a mass panic, because people are putting out, it's like, where are they getting this info, you know?
And it's just people on Twitter just like, like retweeting. And like, I realized I was doing that. And then it's a couple days after, like, I either read or watched the report that like that happened because so many people were just sharing information that like necessarily wasn't true, was just from random people, random facts, you know, just trying to be first on the story,
trying
or
to
trying to be reliable or something like. And then I was like, oh, should not do that. And you get that way with anything, but like, you know, all this to say with all this stuff, like the internet's messed up. I guess all in general, for as great as it's been.
Well, yeah. And look, we are more connected than we ever have been ever. And yet we're lonely, you know? Yet we suffer from depression at higher rates than we ever have. It's so bizarre how it was created, and then how it evolved, and then how it affected our lives. Not necessarily for the better. A lot of ways it's great, but a lot of ways it's also negative.
How do you find it's positive, other than keeping in touch with friends that are maybe gone? So you have an instant connectivity, which I agree is great.
Yeah.
But like, I don't see a lot of positive benefits of like putting like. I like putting stuff on Instagram, but there's not a lot of positive benefits.
Are you talking Instagram only? Because Instagram is like its own world.
Yeah, it is.
Like, Instagram is its own beast, I find, personally. But I think it depends what you look for on Instagram. For the most part, I think Instagram's a bit of a cancer.
Yeah.
But I think if you dive a little deeper, you'll find accounts that are inspiring, or people that make you feel good about yourself. But most of Instagram is all like, hey guys, my life is better than yours, check it out, you know?
Yeah, and like, you're comparing yourself to that person.
I remember reaching a point where I was seeing this guy, and you know, you creep people on Instagram, and like it wasn't serious. I was just checking him out, you know, and I was creeping him on Instagram, and I was looking at who he follows and like who he interacts with, and I'm looking at all these accounts, and there's all these like Instagram models, and they're so perfect, and they're like half naked all the time, and they're beautiful, and I'm like, oh my God, if this is the type of woman this person likes, like I don't have a shot, like I don't look like that at all. But the thing is, those women don't look like that at all, you know. And I remember going through a period where I was just like depressed when I'd open Instagram. Like I just felt so shitty about myself all the time because everything was an image of perfect bodies and faces and like lives. And then I finally got to a point where I realized that it's fake. It's not real.
Yeah, all of it's staged.
Yeah, it's all staged.
Do you think that because you looked at like who he interacted with, he followed, like did that have a negative impact on the relationship?
Yeah, because I didn't feel confident around this person anymore. I felt like a lesser being, you know, for just because of that. And I mean, I never brought it up. It didn't end up going anywhere, and I never brought it up. Like, how would you ask someone? So I noticed you follow a lot of Instagram models on Instagram. Like, why? Yeah. Personally, I don't get why people follow Instagram models unless they're celebrities. You know, like I'm talking real celebrities. I don't get it because they're not going to engage with you. You're never like, they don't really, what do they offer you? I just don't understand.
They post pictures of their butt. They're nice
like,
to look at.
Okay.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. And I guess if you're being honest, that's all it is. And what can I say to that? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But what would you rather that, you know, a person follows, so say your boyfriend follows a bunch of Instagram models and he likes their pictures and stuff. Would you rather that? Or would you rather he follows a lot of regular people from Ottawa, like girls from Ottawa that are just regular, and he likes all their photos?
That's a good question.
Right? You probably go with the models.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you're like,
they're not going to engage with him.
He has no chance.
Right.
Like, where if it was like local people, it would be very much like...
Like if he's following like Jen Seltzer and liking pictures of her butt and commenting like, oh my God, I love you.
The commenting's weird.
That is weird because what's the point?
Yeah.
Right? They're never going to see it. They're never going to engage. Anyway, then I'd be like, whatever. She's Jen Seltzer. Like nothing ever is going to happen with that. So
commenting, I would say, is an issue. If he's commenting on celebrity people, like, I love it, or like fire emojis.
So hot.
Yeah. That like
looking good.
That's weird. I don't understand that behavior.
Well, social media has changed like dating as a whole. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to decipher things about somebody based on their social media.
Or you're painting a picture based on what their social media is, when I don't think you should. I don't, unless you're like purely doing like a psychological examination of a character personality of a person based on their social media, like just don't make assumptions. Because, you know, I follow a lot of different things. Like I follow some good looking people who just take pictures of their butt. I follow like alt models who have like tattoos and piercings.
I want to know, who has the good butt pictures? I want to look one up.
Oh, what's her? I couldn't even tell you her name right now.
You know why I think it's so weird? Maybe it's because I don't follow any men on Instagram who are like that.
Do you know?
Like gym selfies every day and like, ooh, ladies, look at my abs. Like, I don't follow anyone like that.
I follow a lot of
I feel like
celebrities. As we both are on our phones, like typical.
I know.
Like I don't know.
Like even if I like try to look up, there's not many for men that are like buff guys in like provocative poses.
I think that's just a difference of like our biology.
Yeah.
You know what? Like men like looking at that stuff. Like, sorry,
women
ladies.
do too, though.
Oh, here you go. Go look through all of her pictures.
Who's this? Christina Ledstrom. They're all the exact same photo, just with different backgrounds.
Of her butt.
Like, today I'm in the bathroom. Today I'm on the beach. Today I'm on my couch. Today I'm holding on to a brick wall. Like, I mean, it is a nice butt. But, like, I wouldn't want this on my feed every day. I'd be like, okay.
I mean,
it's the same thing every day. But I guess that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't interact. Like sometimes it's like, oh, that's a good butt. But then I follow like motivational people who like work out like hardcore.
But I do like her photos don't look photoshopped either, which is nice.
They might not. I don't know.
They're not.
I don't pay that many
I
attention
can see her stretch
to them.
marks, and I love that. That's great. See?
People like normal people Photoshop their butt.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I feel like I mean, it's kind of rude to say, and I could be wrong, and I would love to be proven wrong, but like most of the women accounts that have a high amount of followers usually have some sort of bathing suit photos. Like, I'm not even saying meant to be provocative or sexy, but like, you know, maybe in like not a lot of gym stuff, like just like tight clothing or pictures of their butt and workout pants.
Well, it's sex sells. How long has sex sold for? Years and years and years and years.
And I feel bad, but like, I mean, I don't know. There could be people with a high, like, who aren't famous that just are influencers, quote unquote.
You love that word.
Oh my God, it makes me laugh so much. And like, listen, anyway, I get it. Do your thing. And if that's how you want to, like, you know, I'm trying to start a podcast and like, that's my content. And that's what I want to do.
What you don't know
things.
is Ryan isn't wearing pants. And that's what's going to sell this podcast.
I've always thought about posting like a picture, like doing those like bros being basic pictures.
It's a great account.
Would love to do that.
Yeah.
Just pull up my underwear through my ass and be like,
You should.
like, what do you guys think of the moon? Like, it's so weird, right? Like,
That's my favorite part. When a girl posts like super like half naked photo of her cleavage or her butt, and it's like, great, like, you know, you do you. But then don't caption it with like a, you know, don't post that on like a day where something tragic happened, like 9/11, and say, like, lest we forget, you know? Because people do that.
yeah, we went through that account too, eh? Where it was, or maybe I tweeted out something, or I don't remember how it came up, but yeah, like people on tragedies being like, and like naked, being like reflecting on everyone who just died.
Or the girl who looked out in the field and she was naked from behind, and she's looking out at a man, and the man's picking like something from the field. He's picking vegetables or something, and she's like, reflecting on how my life is so much different from the man in the fields. And it's like, what the hell? What are you talking about? Why? What?
Yeah, it's...
Hey guys, here's a picture of my ass. Will suffice.
Which is fine.
Like just be straight up about it. Why does it have to be, hey guys, I just wanted to know how your day is going. I had a wonderful weekend. What did you get up to this weekend?
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares. Just pick your caption, make it short
But
and
do
sweet.
people care? Because obviously it's working.
Do they care about the caption?
I don't know.
Not. They care about the photo.
Like, how does, like, an influencer get influence, though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how does it go from just taking pictures of my butt to, like,
I
a
make money
million
off this.
followers and I can influence people's marketing decision?
Well, you gotta be, I feel like you have to be better than just taking photos. You have to do something else. There has to be something else.
An Instagram story? Hey, guys,
Well, like, look at someone like Jen Selter.
I don't even know who
Started
that is.
as, like, she's famous for her butt on Instagram.
Really?
Look her up. She's got, hold on, let me look her up. How many followers is she at now? I used to follow her and then I unfollowed her. I used to follow her for her workouts. Jen Selter, 12.6 million followers. And as far as I know, she wasn't really anybody before Instagram. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying that 'cause
Jacked.
I didn't know who she was. But she posted, she got into like the fitness game. You know, she had products. She had endorsements. She did workouts. She had an app where she'll actually train you, you know? Someone like that. That's why she has so many followers, because she is more than just butt pictures.
Yeah, so if, like, you
She
want
has an
this
empire.
butt, here is ways to get there.
Yeah, like she has an empire. Someone like Summer Rae. Summer Rae on Instagram is a big one too.
So she's using something already to promote her business, which I get.
Yeah, and if you look up Summer Rae, she's beating her now. 19.6 million followers. She's 22.
How do you spell that?
SOMMER.
Friggin' hippies. Spell Summer right.
And I remember first seeing her on Instagram. She didn't have that many followers. Well, she had a lot, but not 19 million. And now she's got a shop. She's got products. Like, they turn that into an empire, and that's when they get really big.
So it just starts as like, here's pictures of my butt. Or of my body.
My body, and I'm into fitness, and I work out, and I'm healthy, and I'm this, and I'm that.
And then it takes over 20. That's crazy.
Or you got the beauty influencer world, which is huge.
So.
And you're good at makeup, and if you're good at makeup, there's money to be made there too.
Do you think influencers only works on women?
I think it's skewed. You mean like...
Not
you can
being
only
an influencer,
okay.
But like...
Targeting women.
You know, you don't see a lot of influencers like promoting or products that are traditionally targeted towards men.
I think it's probably skewed more female for sure. Because you look at all the viral ones like the fit tees and the sugar bear hair. I mean, those are definitely targeted towards women. Then again, I'm not a man, so I can't say, well, I saw one for a man, because I'm probably not going to see one that's targeted to a man.
I don't see a lot of products for men that get promoted. I mean, there's like Dollar Shave Club comes up, but like I don't really see, and I don't follow a lot of male influencers. Like I don't even.
Neither do I, so I can't.
Yeah.
I can't say, but I would imagine it's more skewed to women.
Do you think that's because like young women are more impressionable? They're easier to convince or influence?
Well, I think if like young women on Instagram are probably more susceptible to be like, "Ooh, well they have it. I'm going to try it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy that. I want that on my Instagram." You know, I think that we're more likely.
Why do you have any like inclination why you think that is? Like as a woman or as like a young woman, you know, thinking back to your mindset, like why is it easier for... I mean, even advertising in the commercial world always targets women.
It's always women, you're right.
And I know traditionally they said because women hold the buying power in the family. Like they're the ones who decides what the money goes.
Right, but I mean, if you don't have a family, like if you're a single woman...
Yeah. But I still think, like makeup, even gym stuff, like not a lot of men are just going to be like, I'm just going to get comfy shoes and put on a raggedy old t-shirt. Like I don't see a lot of men being like, I need like these $200 pants just to go get sweaty in.
There definitely are men like that, but I don't know. I think they're less common. Why? I don't really know. I don't know the psychology behind that or why it might be.
I mean, you don't have a psychology. Your job is to influence and examine the human social interactions. Like, I mean, generally speaking, that's kind of your job.
Is it?
I don't know. Do you not think so?
No, really? I don't know. You're making my job sound way more important than
but
it is.
Think about it. Your job is to entertain, but how do you entertain? It's being relatable. It's understanding what people are going to gravitate towards or you
That's
know,
true.
In a way, you're an influencer, just not on Instagram.
I am a young woman.
So it's just you could talk about yourself.
Only 30, okay? I feel like, I'm picking out topics. Well, I'd want to hear about that, so I'm going to talk about that. Is that the same for all women? Probably not. Maybe not.
You're right.
Everyone is an individual. But I guess the thought is if I'm a young woman and I'm interested in hearing about it, chances are there are other young women who are listening that are like, oh, interesting, or haha, funny. So I can't say because I'm just picking out stuff that I think is interesting.
Have you ever been influenced from an Instagram thing or to go buy something?
When it started, like when it first started getting big, and it wasn't off Instagram, it was off YouTube. It was like affiliate codes is what they call them. So you'd get like 1% off, like use my code.
Yeah.
Jack Attack for 10% off. Sorry, I'm using Jaclyn Hill because she's like the queen of affiliate codes. So I've used one then for like lipstick and beauty products because it was really big on beauty YouTube, like YouTube gurus, beauty gurus. So I think I used it once ever. I got like 15% off, like some lipsticks. And I didn't like them.
Oh.
But I mean, that was the last time I ever used one, and that was like at least 6 years ago. So
I can honestly say I've never.
Like, I wouldn't see an ad for like, you know, like Sugar Bear hair when that was really big because the Kardashians pushed it.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like gummies. So they're bear gummies, like gummy bears, and they have vitamins like folate and B12 and all the B vitamins that help grow your hair and your nails and make them strong.
Just take a multivitamin.
Just take a vitamin, I know. Go to the drugstore and they sell vitamins. But when that was really big, I was like, ooh, I wonder if it works. And I thought about it, but then I was like, nah, I didn't.
Apparently most of most of the vitamins anyway. Like most of that stuff is really gimmicky.
Yeah.
Like vitamins, like you pretty much get it from a daily nutrition.
Yeah. I used to take a multivitamin every day and my doctor said, don't bother. It's useless. It's a waste of your money. So I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
so
only
I
if
stopped.
you have like deficiencies.
Yeah.
I mean, I still take one.
I only take a B12 because I have a B12 deficiency, but that's it.
Yeah. But most of the stuff like that's promoted right now is always like gimmicky, weird products that are like different, that aren't in malls or stores almost. Like
I can't believe I didn't even bring this up though. The whole Jamila Al-Jamil thing. Jamila.
Who's that?
Al-Jamil. Jamila Jamil. She is from, or Jamila, I should say. She is from The Good Place. Do you know The Good Place?
Oh yeah. I've
With
never
Kristen
seen it.
Bell?
Yeah.
Oh my god, great show. You should watch if
On
you're not
Global
watching
TV.
it. It's on Netflix, season 1 and 2, right now.
Dayna.
You can binge them. So good. I love it. It's so good. Anyway, so she's on that show and she plays one of the characters on the show, and she has like a body positivity movement on Instagram and on Twitter, and she like went for all the celebrities that promote like all that fit tea and all that stuff that
I
makes
remember
you
reading this.
Guys, I lost 10 pounds in a week thanks to this tea. And it's like, seriously, first of all, if you lost 10 pounds in a week, you probably have food poisoning.
Yeah, like that would make you
Like-
shit.
Like, second of all, no product on the planet is going to get you to lose 10 pounds in a week. There's no miracle product, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she went for all the celebrities, Cardi B, Iggy Azalea, Khloe Kardashian, Amber Rose, you know, that type of celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And she called them out and said, you know, don't give us the discount codes to your bullshit tea. Give us the discount codes to your plastic surgeons and your photoshoppers and, you know, the filters that you used and all that. And
Yeah, your
it was great.
physical trainers and your dietitian and your personal
Yeah.
chef.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so if you want someone to follow that's super like positive and like sheds light on that stuff and how they manipulate images in the media, she's really good for that.
Interesting. So she calls that bullshit all the time.
Oh yeah. She calls that out all the time.
But this
calls out Photoshop and everything. And there's one she actually just posted. It's like an app where you can change your face. It's kind of like Facetune or one of those. And the person in the photo goes from one person to a completely different person. She's like, hey, download this app if you want to fucking hate your actual face once you're done with it. And it's so true. Oh, anyway.
It's funny because I think almost everybody, unless you're a complete narcissist, like has some sort of issue with their being. And I love the whole self-love, empowerment attitude and movement that like a large proportion of society is starting to take. But like advertising forever has been playing on people's insecurities.
For sure.
You know, like people always laugh that I always take a picture from my nose up and just do my
Classic
forehead.
Ryan.
It's because I don't like the way my mouth and chin look in pictures.
Which to me is crazy because you posted a picture, I don't know, over the holidays. You're with 2 kids.
Oh, yeah,
I guess
yeah.
your brothers or
And sisters, yeah.
And you're smiling, and I'm like, that is such a good photo.
Oh, like I don't
See,
like it.
it's like we are so critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I've always wanted? I've always wanted to see myself from the eyes of somebody else.
Yeah.
But not through a video because it's still not the same thing. Like literally in person through the eyes of someone else. That's something we'll never be able to do.
There was
ever.
a great tweet that like I think it's something like nobody sees you the same as you do, right? Like everybody in this entire world has a different perception of who you are, whether it's drastic or it's, you know, microscopic. Like, you know, that's why some people fall in love with you and other people totally hate you. And the way people see you is just, it's always different depending on who that person is and what their experience and what their views and everything that makes that other person a person affects how they see you, which is totally crazy. But I know when I look in the mirror, like, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, same. Like, I'm like picking stuff out. Like,
Yeah.
why?
You had a great video though. You posted that a couple weeks ago now, where you like kind of like went into that.
Had a little bit of a revelation.
Yeah.
But I still like, I'm not, you know, I'm still not there where I look in the mirror and be like, I love myself. I still pick out those flaws. Like, I don't know if that'll ever change.
I think there's a healthy way though to not be like that. Like to have that be okay. You know what I mean? Where like you can still love yourself, but still also
be critical.
Yeah, because I think if you're not critical of yourself, whether it's being critical on things that you can't change is definitely difficult. But like being critical of yourself always sparks improvement and making yourself a better human, whether that's, I don't like that I have this flab on my stomach, so I'm going to go to the gym and work harder. Or I'm not going to have that extra slice of pizza. Or I think it's important to have a little bit of both.
But like to look in the mirror and say, oh my God, my lips are so thin. You know, I wish I had bigger lips. I wish I had lips like the girls on social media. And like that's something you can change with plastic surgery. But should you? No, probably not. Unless, you know, you're really good. It's really going to make you happy. That's going to make you a happier person. And then you're going to look in the mirror and be like, now that's what I wanted. Yeah. Or you're going to look in the mirror and be like, but I'm still unhappy. Yeah. You know? Or
it starts with the lips and then you're like, but my eyes. And
yeah.
I've never really had that thought. Like, if I just change this, it would be better.
About my face. Yeah.
I know for the longest time I never wanted to have red hair.
Really?
Yeah. When I was growing up.
It's so unique though.
Yeah, no, I hated it. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I didn't want that for myself. I don't know. There's just a lot of the times I'm like, I want to change my appearance to quote unquote what's considered attractive in society, right? 6'2", dark hair, strong jawline. What like, you know, what society puts pressure on what men should look like, and whether women like to admit it or not, that they put pressure on.
Do you think that there's as much pressure on men or as much out there in the media to make men feel bad about their insecurities as there are for women?
I think in general, society puts the same amount of pressure, but men aren't as critical on themselves as the women are.
Yeah.
So I think there's the same amount of pressure, but women feel that pressure
a little harder.
Yes, than men would. A lot of men just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I can tell you a lot of men do. And whether it's society or women, right? Like, big thing now is like you have to be tall. Women want tall guys, and that's hot.
Yeah, so, I've done stupid shit for 6'4". Yeah,
that's true. And like men are like, oh well, fuck, I'm 5'8". Like I'm screwed.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, with our bodies, like you want big, strong shoulders and arms and a big muscular back and that V-line pelvic bone going through. You know, that's a big one. You know, a big dick. Sorry to say,
throw that out there.
But you see that.
But a huge dick.
You see that a lot.
That big dick energy.
Yeah, like, but like, you know, women put a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say a lot of women do, because like I've actually like never had an issue to my face, and maybe behind my back, I don't know. But how often do you see, well, you know, a girl talking about her ex-boyfriend, he had a small dick.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And that's like one of like the biggest insecurities for men, even to other men.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a big pressure to have like a nice big package.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you want to be, you have to perfect facial hair. You want to have like, you don't want to be balding, or you like,
That's a big insecurity for men, eh? Losing your hair.
Yeah. I'm losing it right now, and I'm super insecure about it.
Are you?
Yeah, and people point it out all the time.
Really?
And I'm like, thank you.
Why
I
do
know.
people point it out? Exactly. Like, you know if that's happening to you.
Because they think it's funny. Which, I mean, jokingly, ha ha ha. But like, no, that is something I'm actually super insecure about.
Yeah.
That I have like, I'm right here and right here especially. It's like very much thinning.
Yeah.
That's why I even changed my haircut.
Oh, really?
To try to make it thicker so it masks it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's definitely that. And like, you know, nice expensive suits. And I think the influence of money too. Like, you know, you have one side of society and women saying, you know, we want equality and we want like, you know, equal pay and we want all this stuff, which is great. But then you also have a very other large proportion where men still need to pay on the first date. I want to be treated by my man. Oh, he has a nice suit, a nice watch, nice shoes, and a nice car. Oh yeah, like he's hot. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, okay. I know
There
what
is
you mean.
still a huge double standard with that type of stuff.
There is, but I think that it's okay to want those things. I think that it's okay to want somebody who you feel is financially stable for your future.
Which is, yeah.
I think it's okay to want a man to pay on the first date.
Well, you can want a man of anything you want. Like, that's the beauty of people. Like, if you want somebody, don't let society tell you it's shallow or not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right, but like, that's definitely a pressure.
Yeah.
And like, for someone like me who doesn't make a lot of money, when a girl wants me to pay on the first date, like, no.
Going to McDonald's.
Well, I'll split it with you. Also, I don't know if I'm going to like you, so I'm not paying for your meal.
Really? You don't pay on the first date?
No. I don't have enough money. Also, I know some women also just do that for free meals, and they joke about it.
I've never met anybody. I've heard of people doing this.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
met anyone who actually is like on Tinder or on your dating apps and picking out first dates
I mean, I'm
just
sure
to go
it's
for
not
dinner.
I'm sure it's not a large population of people actually dating, but there are people who do that.
That's crazy.
And I don't want to be like, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to waste. That's just a waste of everybody's time. I don't like that idea. I don't
Yeah,
like that.
but some people are awful, and it goes both ways. Like, and I understand like there's pressures on everyone, but like to say like to say men have it totally easy is naive and ignorant. To say that they like other genders or people of other whatever like have it harder is still fair to say. I get that. Like,
yeah.
there are much more limiting factors, so that's fair to say. But to say that straight white men have white privilege and everything's easy
Just coast through life.
is a lie, and it's ignorant and short viewed.
Everybody has their issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't always why we need to have like a competition, like who has it worse, like the new game show, like who has it worse today? Yeah. Is it the straight white male who hates his life and was abused by his parents, but he is straight and white?
So who cares?
Or is it the black female who has a strong upbringing and her PhD, but she is black? Like, who has it worse?
Yeah.
Like, I don't subscribe to basing anyone on their class, gender, race. Like, I judge you by your character and your experience in life, no matter where you're from, what you are. Like,
not everybody is made like you, Ryan, though.
It's so hard for me to understand why you can't just think of in terms of that viewpoint.
I know. And it's just like how it's hard to understand how people have certain views, like how people get so offended over the most minute things. And then you're like, how do these people exist on the same planet that I am on? When, like, you know, you just let things go or let things roll off your back, or you learn to take a joke. And it's just, life is so much better.
That's the big, like...
You know, it's just so weird that there are people like that out there that are just, insufferable.
Well, we started off the podcast talking about like that. But
all
like,
comes full circle.
I try to think of it in terms of like, they either have an experience or they think... Like, I try to understand them and, like, not jump too closely to it. To be like, you're an awful person. Because that would be hypocritical of me, you know, basing the same opinion off someone who's maybe a little more right-wing with other side of the views, right? Like, I don't want to just be like, you're a horrible person, you're racist, you're sexist, you're this, you're that, and just lumping them into this box because of this one thing they said, okay? So, unfortunately, with, like, the Twitter trolls, it gets hard to get a full encompassing view of who they are and what they represent, and you know why they think the way they do. So are they super against they're totally for the Me Too movement and against rape, which everyone should be, so that's fine. But like, because they were they were victims of sexualization and sexual assault, and that's why they sit there. I put the perspective in, like, so I'm really passionate about mental health, so I do a lot of stuff about mental health.
Yeah.
So someone might view that as me being like, oh, like he's radical because he's all about mental health reform and blah 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 blah. So I try to like keep that mindset when I'm examining people. Like I can still think to myself,
kind of like from their shoes, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are they treating this way? Like where I stop is, okay, are you being aggressive? Are you being violent? Are you like totally dismissing other people, bullying? You know, it's like, it's that type of stuff where I'm like, you don't have any credibility towards me.
Did I tell you about the listener who complained on Twitter a couple of years ago that I was talking about stalking? Did I ever tell you that story?
I don't know.
So I read this article about stalking your date on social media or Googling them before you actually meet up with them.
I know who this person was. You did.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
So I did tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Continue.
So I did a bit on the air about, did you ever stalk somebody on social media before you went on a date? Did you find something, that made you cancel, or like that was a red flag to you or something like that? And I don't know, I guess it was the wrong choice of words to say stalk. I should have said creeped or something like that.
Viewed.
Or, just searched them. Anyway, so this person took offense that I was talking about stalking on the radio. Okay, how dare I talk about stalking somebody when I was clearly talking about, I said stalking, but you're surveying somebody's social media before you meet with them to kind of comfort you a little. You make sure they're a real person, they don't have a criminal record, you can check things out. And I guess they took it in such a horrible way that I'm talking about somebody physically stalking someone. And I guess they had been stalked and had been, traumatized by that. And they tweeted, wow, what a lovely way to start off my morning. At Jump Ottawa is talking about stalking. How disrespectful and disgusting. And I was like, whoa, like that came out of left field. Like I wasn't even thinking about that. So I tweeted back to them and I was like, sorry if I offended you. I'm talking about, when you stalk someone, and I was still sticking with the word stalk, and I should have changed it, but it didn't click for me. Yeah. Stalking someone on social media, before you go on a date with them, and then they just came back at it and hit again. Anger, aggressiveness, no like willingness to see like what I was really talking about. I wasn't talking about stalking. I was talking about creeping, I guess you could call it, if you need a different word that's not stalking. Yeah. Anyway, they were having none of it. So I got really sarcastic and snarky and just basically brushed them off. And they didn't like that either.
I wonder if they listen still.
I don't know.
But that person in particular, I'm not going to point it out on here, but they are the type of people where I dismiss because they are very much like that.
They push their views and their views only, and they're not open to anyone else's views.
And they use bullying and aggressive tactics. Like they use the tactics that they hate when men use on other people to push their own viewpoint. And they're very aggressive, and they're not interested. They're not engaging to have a debate or a conversation. They're engaging for you to know they are right. Yeah, and they're there to win, and like that's all they care about. They just want. And
they want you to get angry, so you tweet them, and then they can quote retweet to their followers, and then their followers can go after you.
Yeah, that's what we call virtue signaling.
Yeah, what is that?
Virtue signaling.
I've never heard of that.
No,
that's a term.
Yeah, it's like you're doing something to like be like, everyone look at me doing something good. So like that quote tweeting, like like not having a PM or posting like a picture of DMs or something. Yeah. It's like, look at everybody. I'm on my white stallion taking out the patriarchy.
Okay.
everyone congratulate me for being such a good person and
Yeah.
fighting evil today.
Okay.
Right? So they're like, great, good on you. We need to all band together and take this down. Like people are like that are not doing it because they actually care. They might care a little bit, but like they are not attacking you because they're trying to break down the system or open an open dialogue and make things better. They're doing it for their own personal self-gratification. To be like, I'm a good person today.
Yeah.
I did a good thing.
Yeah.
Like that's basic, and that's like what a lot of the left does right now, right? It's look at me, I'm so great, and like I
stand for this, and I will go after this.
It's like I'm not going to donate to this charity, but I'm going to either post a picture of me to show my support, or I'm just going to retweet it and like, look, I did something.
Yeah.
You know, like it. No. Like you're supposed to do that because you need to donate. You need money. That's why we're doing this. But they're like, I'm not gonna like donate, but like, look, I'm wearing a pink bracelet to support breast cancer. Everyone support breast cancer.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh look, I have 1 million likes on my breast cancer post. I'm so great. I'm such a good person.
1 million likes. Wow.
Right? Yeah, but like
That's
that's what people do
I
now.
know.
So like, if I'm, when I posted about Humboldt, I actually donated. When if I'm going to post about a charity initiative, I make damn sure I donate so I'm not a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Being like, look at me.
Yeah.
And I mean, even doing it and donating, it's still a bit of virtual signaling. It's still like, hey, everybody, look, I'm a good person. I'm doing something
bit,
good.
because it's like, why can't you donate and just not say anything
Exactly.
about it? Yeah.
So yeah, I'm guilty of that, and I can admit that. But I think in today's age, like, a lot of people are.
And I think that it encourages others. I do. I really think that
I
helps
agree.
encourage others to do the same thing and go donate.
Yeah.
And if it takes people trying to get their 15 minutes of fame just by donating, then whatever. At least they donated.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So
you got to take some good with the bad,
Yeah.
and I get it. Like, yeah, you can just donate and be silent, but especially for mental, like maybe the Humboldt thing was a little different because it was so wide known, but like mental health is, people should be donating more, or another cause that people really care about, whatever it is, whatever that is, Parkinson's, ALS, Alzheimer's, whatever's close to your heart. I don't mind when people post about that. I don't mind even when people post content, because it's just like, you know what, like maybe you're just trying to do your thing, and that's fine. Question, because I want to go back to that tweet, and this is like a moral dilemma that I think about quite often. It's like, who has the onus on the interpretation of words? Because right now words are under attack. They're always hyper analyzed, and people pay very close attention to what you say and how you say it. So you use
like
the
how
word
I use stalked,
right?
Yeah.
You use it because with your friends you could just be like, let's stalk them, and like it's like ha ha ha, yeah.
Exactly.
But so who has the onus of it? Is it up to you to make sure that you're phrasing everything super correctly?
Yeah.
That everything is clear and concise, and that it's not open for interpretation? Or is it up to the person who is listening, like, to interpret it in a way, right? So my view is, no matter what you say, it's going to come out in different ways to different people.
Yeah, that's
Again,
true.
to how they grew up, their perception, just their mood that day.
But that means that the writer of whatever it is, it's impossible for them to write it correctly in a sense that everyone's going to take it the same way. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
So it's on the reader.
Yeah. Or the listener.
Has to be on, or the listener, or the viewer, or whatever kind of medium you're consuming. But it has to be, because how can one person writing something have responsibility over the views of 7 different people who all take one sentence in a different way? You can't. It's not fair.
I mean, even our conversation, I think, has been totally fine. Somebody could think that I'm racist because I said that, like...
Well, they could think you're against women because,
Yeah, exactly. But, like, clearly I'm not, and
No.
I've done many things to demonstrate that, but it doesn't matter to those people. It's just like, they heard that one thing, and they're like, he's a racist women hater.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. But, like, I think that's one of, like, the biggest things, like, everyone's going to have to deal with in the next couple of years, is as the internet keeps progressing with social media, and people are putting out podcasts and videos and social media, and, like, everyone's looking for something to be offended by or to pick apart or to analyze and misinterpret or take out of context, whatever it is. People
That's
are
the biggest thing right now.
looking for it.
It's the biggest trend is to be upset about something.
Yeah.
Like, look at the baby it's cold outside thing. I did not, I swear it was fabricated. It was fabricated by the media. It had to have been. Because I did not see a single like tweet or a single comment or a message of somebody being like, this song is offensive. It needs to come off of the radio. Like, I never saw anything. First it was just one station saying they were removing it, and then another, then all the radio stations.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, what? And there were more people who were upset that they removed it than there were people who were upset that
and
they
like,
were
I
playing
mean,
it.
technically that came from one person complaining.
Yeah.
One person made a phone call and said,
Yeah.
I don't want you to play this song.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
That's how it works. The weight of one person. One person can change anything.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy.
You can't base any decision off one thing, one opinion. But everyone seems to think you can.
And I think that, it's one of the reasons why it blew up and why other radio stations followed suit, because they think the controversy of this is a good thing for them.
Yeah, because you get talked about.
Thing for their business, because people are going to talk about
Yeah.
it. Because there's more, how do I say this? People are even more interested now than ever of being outraged by somebody who's outraged by something stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at you. You seek this shit out,
Yeah,
man.
you're right.
You seek it out so you can have a laugh because somebody is outraged by something ridiculous.
It's true.
Like, people actually enjoy doing this now because there are that many people who are outraged by ridiculous things.
Well, people make a fake Twitter account, like basically going the most outrageous things just so people can have a laugh.
Yeah.
As a parody.
Yeah.
It's... I tweeted out today, like, 2019, let's stop making hot Twitter takes, or like... Because it happens a lot. Like, one person tweeted about that Beyonce thing. Do you remember that? When she... Like, Ed Sheeran was in the club.
Oh, my God, don't get me started.
Don't
get me started.
I mean, there was one tweet, really, that made it big.
Yeah.
And, like, so that's one person with one opinion. Everyone jumps over it. Internet outraged about that thing. So, like, maybe the internet wasn't outraged.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one person. And then, like, the internet runs with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's...
Well, that's what
a
happens.
story.
People are so attracted to these things now. These things where you can't even understand, how is somebody thinking this way?
Yeah.
How is somebody feeling this way about Beyonce and Ed Sheeran? Like, I don't understand. You're attracted to these stories now, I feel like.
And it's these garbage content companies that keep pumping it out.
Yeah.
BuzzFeed, Mashable, Variety, like, just like these phony
Mashables.
tabloid, like with these catchphrases in their headlines, like
bait and
internet,
everything.
like the internet was shook after this picture. Everyone's like, "Oh, I want to be shook,
honey,
Click.
I'm gagging."
Yeah, like, but it was one tweet that really said it. Like, maybe other accounts did, but one person tweeted out,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah, and like someone saw it and like ran with it.
Yeah.
And then like everyone else runs with it. Once one person makes the story and they see engagement,
Yeah.
everybody's news
on
outlet
it.
ever
Yeah.
jumps on that because they want a piece of that advertising pie.
Yeah.
Of what's outrageous. And I mean, we're guilty of it being in the media. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
we're going to talk about it because people are talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just becomes this like sick cycle of everybody regurgitating this like garbage news where, again, people are being raped in India. There is a genocide massacring in Yemen right now. You hear about that in the news?
No.
Like, there's actually disgusting crises going on in this world, but we're talking about baby it's cold outside. And I hate to be that person because you see that person in the comments. Why is this news?
Oh my
Must
God, I
be a
hate
slow
that.
news
No,
day.
don't. I hate that.
Yeah.
I actually hate that.
So I'm not doing that. But in reality, like, I don't care. Like, let's talk about something that's like actually meaningful to people.
Yeah.
But like that just doesn't grab the attention of people.
No, it doesn't. It's sad. So in a way, I mean, we encourage mainstream media, like as a society, to continue their ways, right?
Yeah.
Because this is what we engage with.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all guilty.
Yeah.
Whether you're left, like no matter who you are, we're all part of this society that we have created
Yeah.
and we let happen.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be really simple. We don't want things like this anymore. Don't click on the articles.
Yeah, it's true.
But everyone
Don't
has
give
to
them the
do
clicks. Yeah.
and like that just won't happen.
No.
And I feel like the younger generation who are just growing up in this, like, it's only going to get worse.
I wonder how it's going to be in like 10, 15, 20 years. You know, is it going to be the same as today? Like, how can it change even?
I think, I don't know. I truly believe that, like, we're going to become more censored.
Even more than we are now?
Where, like, there'll be, even more implications for things that we do or say.
Like
it's already
pretty bad now.
Like,
I mean,
I could already theoretically be fired for something I say on this podcast totally outside of work, or something I tweet outside of my home, or something I do not at work.
that's scary.
Like, I could lose everything.
It's just like the Kevin Hart thing that happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah, where he
The Oscars
like
thing.
took off
I
the
mean,
Oscars.
I mean, or James Gunn getting fired.
Which one's that?
James Gunn. He had the really weird tweets.
Oh, yeah.
They were jokes. He was trying to be funny. They came off as super creepy. And, like,
Yeah.
you know, jokes about kids. And, like, it was just weird.
Bad jokes.
Bad jokes. And, like, he apologized for them years
Mm-hmm.
and years ago. And then somebody just brings it up. And then all of a sudden Disney's like, oh, we should fire him.
Yeah.
Like, he did your first movie? Or
Well,
your
yeah.
first two movies? Like, what?
Even Roseanne, or
What's the deal here? Because you already knew those tweets were there.
yeah,
You already knew about them.
because a company has to, right? Because that's like that's outrage culture. It's ban. It's like, we need to ban this because this is something. This is not.
It's just so nuts.
This is not a safe space.
It's so nuts to me.
Go read about some of the stuff going on at universities in the States with, like,
Mm-hmm.
safe spaces and all this stuff. Like, people trying to, like, ban speeches and lectures and like comedians and performances and movies and like ban. Like, that's the thing. It's like, we don't like it, ban it. Ban everything.
Yeah.
Anything I don't agree with, right? We were talking about this yesterday with the Bird Box movie and how it was stigmatizing to mental health and whatever.
Mm-hmm. That
It's
was
like,
on Mashable.
yeah,
Thanks, Mashable. Idiot.
when are we going to come to a point where, you know, we can't watch movies, like we can't watch Shawshank Redemption, which is arguably one of the best movies ever made because there's a rape scene, or, you know, movies that portray
violence or killing or anything that's illegal. Drug use.
I mean, there's
anything.
There's pretty profound movies with, like, rape scenes.
Yeah.
I believe, or is it a violent scene, like The Color Purple? Have you seen that movie?
I've never seen it.
I'm either Oprah's character gets beaten or raped. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, like, again, like, that's part of art.
And
art is an expression of one's view of society, and you know what? The shit happens, and it's part of the art. Like, we can't. If you don't like it, just don't watch it.
It's the biggest.
If you don't like the
piece of
song,
advice.
just don't listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to ban it just because someone's coming to give a political talk at a university. Don't go.
Yeah.
People are allowed to think differently of you, as long as they're not getting up being like, kill all, you know, X people,
or maybe go and see a different view.
Yeah, I actually think that would be great for
start a
people.
Conversation, or like see something different that opposes you, that makes you think. You know, like, go.
I love doing that. It's so stimulating. Being like, okay, I don't agree with that, but like, okay, I kind of see that. I see that viewpoint
See where
a little
they're
bit
coming
more.
from. I understand why they think this way.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I understand why.
You're like, oh,
They push that view.
Why did Twitter say you're a monster? You're like, clearly you're like a pretty decent person. You're just, you maybe have stronger viewpoints on something.
Yeah.
But like people like protesting outside with their signs, or like, you can't be in my safe space, or like it's, you know, we're coddling these people and creating this victim culture.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's empowering at all for anybody. You know, like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be like the victim where I'm just constantly being like, I'm a victim of something.
You're constantly sheltered from these things that are a reality.
Like, welcome to the real world where you're going to have to face challenges and adversity.
Yeah.
You think the student loan people are going to be like, oh, like, you don't have to pay back your loan
I can't
because
afford my loan.
Yeah. No, they don't
What do you
care.
wanna do?
You don't want to pay your bills? You want to be in your safe space where you don't have bills? Like, no.
It doesn't exist.
You got to pay it.
I wish it did.
Oh, I can't pay rent this month because I'm actually really stressed with finals and I have an exam and it's on the same day as rent and I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't focus. Like, bitch, give me my money. Like, it doesn't work like that.
So sell an arm and then
Yeah,
give
like,
us the money.
there's going to be times.
Like,
And I'm like, you have to be uncomfortable at points.
yeah.
And I get it. I love being comfortable but like there's points where you have to just be like, you got to go for it
Yeah.
and push yourself and learn new things and learn something about yourself. And maybe you fail and like, who knows? But like, you won't know unless you try. You think people who are extremely successful are sitting in an office or at one time in their 20s were like in an office being like, I don't want to talk to that CEO because he's scary and he's part of the patriarchy.
We just meet over text.
Yeah, no, like you want that job, you're going to have to go meet with the person and like prove you're better than 5,000 other applicants.
Yeah. And I find, I don't know if we can get into this little thing, but it's a big thing. I find like, I don't want to say millennials because I am a millennial. You're a millennial.
I'm a
right?
millennial.
You're a millennial. Maybe it's not millennials, I'm thinking. Maybe it's Generation Z or Z if you're American. Generation Z is after us, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're the generation after us. But I feel like that's the coddled generation now. And they're very, like, everything is kind of handed to them. Like, they're very...
You sound very old right now, Dayna.
I know, I sound like, get off my lawn. I hate you, stupid ass kids.
No, but I see it all the time.
Entitlement.
Like the people who grew up with the internet, like I grew up with a lot of the internet, but I didn't really have good internet until I was probably like 15, 16.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
people,
probably about that.
So people who grew up like truly from their formative years all through,
Like they knew how to use a phone at 4 years old.
Yeah.
You know, like they knew what to press
Yeah.
to get the phone to open.
yeah, they truly want to walk in, not put in the hard work. They get scared when we ask them to do something, and they literally say, "I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with this."
Because it's encouraged. Well, I mean, of course, and you should always say when you're uncomfortable to do something at work. But I think it's an excuse now.
It depends what you. I never would have said that, no matter what it was. Even if I was uncomfortable,
You would just do it.
I would just do it.
Yeah.
That was always me, and whether that's right or wrong, like, well,
Obviously, it depends on what we're talking
yeah,
about
like
here. Everything's
if
appropriate.
I was asked to put myself in an extremely vulnerable position with my life or my body,
of course.
But how many times did radio interns have to like blow shit up on them or do something like crazy, like, right? Like that was a big thing in radio for years and years and years and
A lot
years.
of stunts, yeah.
That never would happen now.
No.
Or in anything, right? Like people are just like, why do I not have a $50,000 salary on my first job? Right?
I know.
Like, no, like you might actually have to work. And I'm not a huge advocate for making people work for free, but it also taught me a lot.
But, I mean, also, we're talking radio industry. It's a much different beast than any other industry when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're expected to work for free in a lot of positions.
Yeah.
Like when you go on internships.
And
there's no such thing as paid internships in radio.
yeah. And then
You're working hard for nothing.
in my view, it's like, if you don't want to do that, it's two-sided because, like, I think they should all at least be paid minimum wage. That's not a huge ask
No, of course
of
not.
anything, but like
It's called
media,
minimum wage.
but like media especially definitely always has taken advantage of that
yeah.
because people have wanted to.
Well, and we had this conversation before, especially when it comes to radio. Like, there will always be somebody who wants to take your job and will do it for less because they don't care. They'll take the money to do it for anything. And it's like, no, people have to stop doing that because corporations take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll be in a position where somebody else will come behind you and want to do your job for less, just like you did.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to stop. You got to know your worth too at the same time,
Yeah, it's tricky. And then like start doing stuff for less because you don't want to lose your job to someone who will do it. Like,
yeah, or you take on more and you don't ask for any more money.
It's, I mean, that happens in radio, but that happens like everywhere, but pretty much the government.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And especially in Ottawa, that's why a lot of younger people always want to just get a job in the government.
Yeah, because it's guaranteed payday.
Yeah, it's cushy. Like, some do go into it to actually do something with their lives, but a lot of it just, it's good money. It's safe, and you don't like. There's not a lot of
and why not? If you're
pushing,
good, working behind a desk, doing your 8 to 4, your 9 to 5, why not? I mean, do it.
But
do
they're
it up.
unionized too, so you would never lose your job if you said no to something.
The government? Are
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think so. Well, I shouldn't say for a fact, but I'm pretty sure.
Because I mean, the government does do layoffs.
At least parts of it.
They do layoffs.
You can still lay off people with
Yeah.
unions. That doesn't affect it. It's,
I thought it was more difficult.
It's probably more difficult, but like they can probably do it. I don't know if it's all government, but it is like you never have to worry about someone sniffing at your job. Whereas in private business, it's always like you have to keep pushing and getting better. And there's always someone right behind you. Even your friends, like you could be competing for the same job one day. Mm-hmm. Like, so you still have to you cheer for them, but you're like, no, I also have to be better than you.
Yeah.
So like, don't be too
true.
good. Like,
but I feel like if we're talking about radio, because it's the only business I know about, there's the generations that are following. I feel like they're not as passionate and they're not as driven, and they're not like the schools aren't turning out the really good talent the way they used to be.
mm-hmm.
It's just not. I don't know if there's just no motivation or people view radio as a failing industry or something like that. But I don't find that the same people coming out of school that have that drive and that ambition and that like, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do this and,
Well, radio is definitely less relevant to younger people. Mm-hmm. So you don't have those stories anymore of like, I used to stay up all night practicing my radio show on my tapes and doing stuff like that's really not a thing anymore. And it still happens. But like, even you look at classes, I bet, 20, 30 years ago, I bet like 100 people were graduating. Now it's like 10.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have 20 people enrolling.
Yeah.
It's just so much smaller and you have such a smaller sample size. And like a lot of people are weird. Like a lot of the people going in are kind of like weird.
It's true.
Right?
Radio people are weird. We're weird.
I had this argument with some of the managers, and I was saying like, if I'm a bona fide, like I'm going and I'm entertaining, like I'm probably going to start a YouTube channel before I think about going into radio.
That's true because, to be honest, if you get big, there's more money in it.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, yeah, but that's really hard. I'm like, yeah, but you could arguably put the same amount of effort in to trying to do that than to trying to make it into radio.
Absolutely. Getting into radio is hard work.
Yeah.
That was the hardest years of my life, radio school. Was the hardest I've ever worked at anything. And
School was easy, but
what?
I found it easy.
Oh my God, it was hard.
Oh.
Like there was a lot, I don't know, maybe we went to different schools, so we can't, I don't know, I can't compare them, but I found it was very work intensive, like especially in the second year, or the last semester. Anyway, those were tougher than other classes I've taken when I went to college previous years for other things. Like I just found it difficult anyway, but it was fun. It was always like fun and challenging, and I enjoyed it. Where was I going with this?
We're talking about how it's not as hard, like it's just as hard to get into radio as like potentially making a YouTube channel.
But it is hard. It is very hard to start a channel and work from the ground up and nobody knows who you are and you got to turn out videos once, twice, 3 times a week, consistently, and you got to be entertaining and you got to have video editing skills and you got to have everything, like filming equipment. It's hard. It's a lot. You got to invest money and it's a lot of work.
Yep.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, even like the podcast is a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if I'll ever make it big, but like, just to do it and set up a time with people. And I mean, the uploading is easy, but then like, it's trying to market it. That's like the hard part.
Yeah.
So like making a video.
And there's so many podcasts out there. Why should somebody listen to your podcast over another one? Mm-hmm. Especially when you have well-known podcasts. Just whatever you do never start your podcast if you get sponsored with like a 5-minute long sponsored speech.
You have to put it in somewhere.
Please do not. I hate that. If I open a podcast and they're like, "Oh, today's podcast is brought to you by Squarespace." Squarespace helps you make a website, and they go on for 5 minutes, and I'm like, "Next, I don't care," and I'm never buying from Squarespace.
What would be better? Putting it in the middle?
I don't. Why does it have to be so long? Just a quick mention. Like what? This is what they do. I love it. It's great. Make it personal, you know? Not even Joe Rogan makes it personal.
No, he reads the script.
He reads the script and I'm like, what is with this? Why can't they make it more personal?
Yeah, I don't know if they don't care or I don't know.
It's just that they paid me and people are going to listen anyway, so
yeah, when you're that
you can also just skip through, you know, every 15 seconds on your phone.
Yeah.
Skip. But I get annoyed, so I change.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about sponsorship deals yet. That's maybe down the road.
Well, Squarespace, if you're listening.
Yeah, Squarespace, hit me up. I have like 200 listens.
Yeah.
A episode.
Well, I started my YouTube channel and I have 5 subscribers. So
I haven't subscribed. I only retweeted you.
How dare you?
I'm going to subscribe. Tell me about that. Like, I know you do a lot of videos. But why now did you finally be like, I'm going to do a YouTube channel?
Well, I didn't say I'm going to do a YouTube channel. I ordered that HelloFresh meal service thing, and I was like, it might be fun to vlog the experience, you know? And the videos I'm used to doing are like as short as possible. Mm-hmm. Like get to the point in a minute if you can, you know, so that it fits on Instagram. So I'm not used to making long videos. So I was like, the only place I can put this really is YouTube. So that's why I did it. I wasn't like, I'm going to start a YouTube. It wasn't a magical moment. I was just like, might as well.
So are you planning to do like video specific for that? Or are you just going to kind of like put your videos into there? I'm going to like test it out and try. Like I ordered another meal service, Good Food. So I'm going to vlog that as well. And then like compare the two. So I'm going to do that. And then I have a few videos I can put up that from that are a bit older just to have up there. And maybe I might try like a few reviews or like something beauty related, but I'm not really like, I have the mindset that like, who am I? Like there's so much on YouTube now. Like I can't, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to get famous on YouTube. You never know. Like I'll just do it for myself for fun. Just put your butt. Just put my butt as the thumbnail or something. Just my butt. But like YouTube is so saturated. You know, if I knew 15 years ago how big YouTube was going to get, or 10 years ago, I would have started it then, because that's when it really, really took off. But you do, like you and Tony, like you both have good ideas and good videos, and they're funny. Like I don't see. Maybe you'll never get 1 million, but like I always think it's like always. I mean, if it's something you like doing and it doesn't feel like work, that you should like just do it. If it works, and then have fun with it and try to be good at it. But if it doesn't work, like whatever, you're doing it because it's fun. Yeah, you're not doing it because I'm gonna get, 1,000 subscribers by the end of the week, and then 10,000, and then I'm gonna get sponsored, and then YouTube's gonna send me that plaque that I can put on the wall. Like, no. No, I think it's just like as long as it doesn't feel like you're doing work. Yeah, it's just a hobby. It's just fun. Then like it's all good. Like. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least, like, I mean, you guys are content creators anyway. So, like, you may as well just have a YouTube channel as well. I'm a content creator. God. We're all content creators when you think about it. Yeah. We all are. As soon as we post one picture somewhere, we have just created content. But, like, especially, you as a radio announcer, like, I think it's important that you guys have, like, a brand. Yeah. And that, like, It's just I've always had a hard time grasping that concept of a brand. Yeah. Because I'm a nobody. Like, to myself. Yeah, but, like, so I get that. But, like, you need to start thinking of yourself as a business. I know. But it's weird to me. I just can't grasp that. I mean, if you don't want, to each their own. But, like, if you're aspire to being super successful one day with, like, a syndicated show or whatever, like, it's important that, like, you have a website, you have a YouTube channel, you have all your socials, and like, you have your public persona, and you have appearances, and you have, like, what I mean? The most successful people have all those things. Yeah, and like it starts somewhere. Like, it doesn't just happen overnight. Like, some people obviously, come from a rich family, or they have other things, but other people are self-made just with hard work. So Kylie Jenner. Called out. But like, I mean, it just depends what you want. Like, if you don't want any of those things, then it doesn't really matter. But I think now, especially that like the way everything's becoming digital, that if you do want some sort of career in media in general, that like you have your own business as yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, your fans can follow me at Dayna Breezy on Instagram.
Hey, plugs are at the end there, Dayna.
Actually, I was like, what's my YouTube? I don't even know what my YouTube is.
You can look it up.
I felt old making a YouTube channel. I was like, I don't know how to do this.
What made you want to get into radio?
Oh, I have 6 subscribers. Sorry.
Oh.
It's Dayna B Radio.
And how many views on your first video?
Oh, on my first video, I have 140.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if you'll get a huge spike from this, but
I hope so.
who knows? One day in like
I'm paying
3
good
years.
money for this. No.
But yeah, what made you want to get into?
Honestly, it's stupid, you know, and I always feel bad because you'll be, I used to listen to Casey Kasem and he really inspired me to like get into, and I'm like, none of that. Like, I always listened to radio growing up because it's all I really had. Like, in my room, I'd have the radio on, I'd play video games, and it'd always be on in the background. And then one day, I worked at a drive-thru, and somebody said that I had a really amazing voice and that I should do commercials or I should be using my voice somehow. And I was like, oh, wow, like, thank you. Like, I'm not good at anything. So that means a lot to me. So then I was like, well, what about radio? Like, it seems fun and I can use my voice and, you know, I'm a shy person, so nobody can see me. It's just me in a room by myself. So that's why I tried it.
Oh, interesting. Do you have self-esteem? Like, do we need to pump you up? Do I have to give you more compliments in the morning?
No, I'm just hard on myself. But like, you know, I've never been really very, very, very good at something until radio. And I realized that I'm actually kind of decent at this.
I've said this to you before. You're more than kind of decent.
Thank you.
You are a very talented jock.
Like, and it's the first thing I've ever been really good at that people have actually taken notice that I've been good at. So I guess that's why I stuck with it, because I was like, oh, I can actually do this.
Yeah, because you left and then you came back.
Yeah. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it anymore.
Crazy, yeah.
It all works out in the end.
What do you think the future of radio is? Because we said people think it's a dying industry. But
I don't think it's dying, but I think it'll kill itself if it doesn't evolve with the times.
Yeah, that's
you know, because I think it can evolve, but it's not right now. It's not evolving. And I saw
fast enough. Yeah,
you shared an article.
Yeah,
about that, and a lot of PDs and industry experts shared their views on where it's going. And there was one of them, I can't remember what the name of the person who answered the question, but they said we got to do something about commercials because people tune out because of commercials. And you know, we've shortened music, we've shortened things like jocks shorter, keep it short, keep it short. Why are commercials still a minute? Why are they still 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Why can't they be shorter, quicker, to the point? And I thought that was a really good point, because it's true. We have all this chunk of commercials in the middle of this hour, and they're all 30 seconds minimum. Why has that not evolved like everything else has?
I think we're all scared too.
Well, why can't it be more personal? You know, jocks are kind of like influencers.
I've actually made this argument before too. Yeah.
Why can't jocks kind of do a commercial? You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
So like I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but I was like, I was talking to my girlfriend's mom about this, because she was asking me like what I thought about radio and the industry and stuff, and I was like, that was one thing we need to work on. Like, we need to find ways to integrate marketing more. So my thing was like, okay, Dayna, you're on the air, and you're like, you know, me and my best friend, we went to Lone Star last night, and we got the fajitas, and it was just so good.
Like a sponsored post, but don't make it.
But it's
make it personal.
It's hidden in a break almost, which is
that's what
very
I was thinking.
difficult to do, and it could get messy. So you really have to formulate a way to make this
especially to
work.
sound natural and not
natural, and not have all of your content about commercials about you doing something on a client.
Yeah,
but. You know, a restaurant's really easy. We went out for drinks last night at Dreamland on Preston, and they had this really weird cocktail, and it had like an octopus head in it, and I was like, do I get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you talk about it
What's
that
the
way.
weirdest meal you've ever
Yeah,
had?
but
like,
you just
spin it.
drop the client in there.
Yeah.
And like it'd be difficult, and you really have to manage it.
Yeah.
But that's one way. 5-second
another way to make
commercials.
money.
Yeah. Well, why aren't we doing it on our social media?
Yeah.
I've always wondered that. Why are we not doing like sponsored posts?
Yeah. Well.
Easy.
Yeah.
But like radio is very afraid, I think, to do it both from an industry perspective and from a client perspective.
Yeah.
That like they're just
somebody's got to make the first move. Like someone has
to believe in it. A client has to believe in it.
Yeah, somebody's got to take the leap and just try it.
Yeah.
And then see if it works.
Yeah.
But nobody's willing to be the first one to do it.
It's so like that's one of the big things, right? And radio just moves real slow on.
You know what bugs me though?
Evolving.
It does bug me when people complain about the commercials. I get it. Commercials are annoying. You don't want to hear them. However, radio is the only free kind, other than not even your phone. Your phone's not free.
I know.
Instagram is a free app, but you got to have data and you got to be paying for it in order to use it. Radio is the last absolutely free service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you bought a radio. How old is it? You've paid that radio off and then some.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is tune a dial and you get music. You get a jock. You get commercials,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. You get commercials because you're not paying for this.
Yeah.
It's totally
That's it.
free.
You either pay for it or you get commercials.
And people think, I don't think people remember that when it comes to radio. They just hear commercials. They're like, oh, bullshit commercials.
Yeah.
Change the station.
Yeah.
But like, you forget that this is a free thing. Like, it's completely free. It's the last free media.
Yeah. So, but people are willing to pay for no commercials.
Well, they are.
Which
and
is
our
fine.
attention spans are so short. You just want to flip through songs, right?
I hate that.
That our
Because
attention
I'm
spans are
such a
short?
believer in like long content.
Yeah.
Like people were like, your podcast is too long. I'm like, no, I don't care. If you think my podcast is too long, I don't want you listening. But you're not the audience I want.
Okay, yeah.
I want people who want to stick around for a conversation about interesting things or learning about something new or interesting people or engaging in the conversation somehow. I don't want people, because the people who only want short, quick content aren't loyal. They don't care about you or your brand.
They don't get invested in you.
No. They just, there's no loyalty. There's no, it's just, they're there. What are you doing for me now? Mm-hmm. And then they're out.
Yeah.
And like, as soon as you do something else, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're not filling out ratings. They're not, like, they don't care. They don't care about you. If you're there or not, they don't care.
Yeah, it's true.
What I want, and there is an appetite for people who don't want that. There definitely is I would say the majority is like that.
But they do want long content.
But you have 7 billion people in this world. So even if you had 6 billion people who wanted short form content, you would still have 1 billion people who want long form content.
Yeah.
So I'll just talk to the people who want long form content. Like that's, to me, is more, it's more interesting. It's more thought provoking. It's more appealing. It's interesting. Like no offense, but like when you only have 30 seconds to talk, it's really hard to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Really hard. And you guys do a damn good job for it, but like it'd be much better if you had 4 minutes. Or you could choose when you get out, when you don't have those limitations, where you're just like, maybe you have a great break and it goes 5 minutes. Maybe you don't have a great break and it goes 30 seconds. But at least you have the option.
There is an art to doing that. Like there is a kind of formula, like when you're trying to cut something down. I got to tell this story that is at least 3 minutes worth of information, and I got to condense that into 45 seconds.
But then it's just like a buzz headline.
Yeah.
Right?
But this is why podcasting, I think, is so big now.
Yeah.
Podcasting is long form content, right?
Well,
it is.
Some do, some don't.
I don't know. I've never seen a successful podcast that was like less than an hour. I kind of agree with, like, someone was like, it should be 20 or 30 minutes. I'm like, but like that's like one conversation topic, and then it's done. Yeah.
Like we've been going for an hour and a half.
Wow. Didn't feel like it.
No, it goes by super fast, but that's because we're actually like having a meaningful conversation that I think people can relate to, and whether they agree or disagree. But like you watch the news and you get like a 1 minute hit of a commentator talking about an issue. They go, "What do you think about this? Why do you think about this?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming on." Like it's just Cole's notes. It's moving. Like I have nothing for this. It just right over my head. Mm-hmm. But I'd rather would listen for 2 or 3 hours, whether that's at the same time or not, I don't think matters anymore. I think we also need to move around the fact that people are only going to sit down and engage in content with like one shot. It's like, that's the only time I'm going to listen to it. Because I will listen to podcasts or videos or something that like you break it up. Like I'll listen to 45 minutes here. Oh, my run's done. I'll listen to 45 minutes tomorrow. And like,
okay.
like
See, I'm different in that aspect.
So everyone's different,
Yeah.
right? But like, we focus on the majority because that's who they're trying to attract in commercial media.
It's make money.
But like,
it's all about
I'll
the money.
I'll split up my content. Like, especially if it's interesting and engaging,
Yeah.
like I'll come back and listen, like to the rest of it if
Yeah.
I want to. Like, again, just because 500,000 people want it one way doesn't mean 300,000 people don't want it another.
Right.
And why is there a problem with talking to 300,000? So you're not going to talk to the majority of people, but you can still,
There's still an
make a
audience for
decent,
you.
and make a decent living. And yeah, like you said, like all great podcasts are an hour or over, I think.
I mean, you look at the top charts and it's like they're all very long.
Yeah. And that, I think people do want that.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but I think there's a large amount of people who care about something and want to listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson talk for 2 hours about all the things in his brain, or really get to know the real Kanye West.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what's he really thinking? What's his real thoughts? Because all I get is a 30-second radio hit, a BuzzFeed article that has to be super short because no one's going to read longer than like 500 words, a tweet.
And if Kanye had a podcast, it'd go on for days.
I mean,
Like he would talk for more than 24 hours.
I would listen. Maybe not all at once, but I would listen.
You wouldn't be able to do.
What's going on in your brain, sir? I want to know. Because I'm interested in that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And like those people are going to be loyal to brands, I think, and loyal to podcasts, and will actually like market it for you, right? Like you don't have to do the marketing for it because people are all about it. Like I want to reach a point where people criticize my work.
You haven't made it until you get some complaints,
Or like people just being like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You're like, you're right, I don't. I'm just talking.
Want to come on the show?
I would totally say that to people too.
Yeah.
Like, man, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Come on.
I want to get to the point where I can do like a mean tweets. Like that's where I want to get in my career, where I can do a full video of me reading mean tweets.
Yeah.
It'll never happen though.
Yeah, I want like YouTube comments, like questioning why I didn't do things. So one of my favorite things is on like Rogan's like comments or something.
Yeah.
People will be like, "Oh, why didn't you press him on this issue harder? Like, why didn't you do this?" Or like, like, "Oh, wow, like you glossed over that," or "You're way too nice to them, like you show a bias." Like, dude, it's his show.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck he wants. He's like, that's the thing. Like, it's my content. It's not yours.
Yeah.
I get to do whatever I want. If I don't want to press Dayna on like what you think about abortion, and like if you try not to answer it, I'm gonna press you.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, also, I'm the one in the room with them, not you.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, sure, it's easy for you to say on a keyboard like this is what I should do, but like, okay, you sit there and like have someone like visibly crying, but you're like, I'm gonna get the issue. It's ridiculous.
Most of the time, though, those people that are commenting are people who would never be able to do
they're
that
just-
kind of thing. They're just commenting.
I feel the people who do criticize other people's work legit just can't do anything because they wouldn't criticize the work because if they did it, they would know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And how much work and how much this all goes into it. Like they're like, I don't need to criticize. Even if I don't agree, I'm like, you know what? Like, I know it's hard, man. Like keep doing you. But I don't know, it's hard.
You'll get there.
We'll see.
Post this on YouTube, and I will.
I do post it on
criticize you.
YouTube, but I
should
don't
have
do a
pushed
video.
me on the abortion issue.
Oh jeez, I don't. Well, no, we talked about a lot of hard hitting stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Dayna, where can people follow you? Now's the time where you can plug. You try to get it in early.
On my YouTube, first 100 subscribers get a free. No, I'm just.
Get a free compliment.
Yeah, get a free virtual high five. How awesome is that? So on Instagram at Dayna Breezy, also at Dayna Breezy on Twitter. It's Dayna with a Y. And Dayna B Radio on YouTube.
And they can listen to you
on Jump 106.9, Monday to Friday, 10 to 2.
10 to 2. Dayna B, thanks for coming on, my friend.
You're welcome. That was very fast. My first podcast experience.
And it's an hour and 39 minutes.
Well done.
Bye.
Bye.
Big red brushes that's right through it.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.